So I'm doing a residency in New York City this summer. It's in Brooklyn. So the residency is from May to July. And so it technically starts today, Monday, May 2nd, but I'm not going to be in New York City until a week from today. So the first week of the residency takes place remotely. So I have 2 curator meetings, one on Monday, one on Friday, and then I also have a presentation about my work on Wednesday. So I just had my first curator meeting, and I think it went well. What it made me realize is that I really need to find a way to simplify, a way to explain my ideas. And I'm really excited to get more clear on my goals through conversations with people. And I'm really excited to get to know other people's art practices and art mindsets. So this curator that I just met with was from the Ukraine. So obviously my heart goes out to her. She's got a lot to carry, with everything going on with her home and her friends and family. But also she gave me a lot of good insights. She also gave me some interesting research that I can do, some good artists and directions. So other things on my mind on this technically day 1 of the residency is I've got to pack up my whole life and throw it in a U-Haul and drive to New York with my mom. And, I've got to turn in my final grades from this semester. There's just kind of a lot of wrap-up stuff I have to do. And yeah, I have a little stress about leaving my husband and cats for the summer, just because they're a major source of joy in my life. And my husband and I really support each other in our work, and he's a big part of my work. So on one hand, I'm trying to look at it, it's a good challenge just to maybe him and I both get to dig into ourselves a little bit for the next 3 months. Obviously we'll talk all the time and we'll visit each other once a month, but yeah, that's maybe I wouldn't say a fear, but just something that lingers in my thoughts, that I know that I'm gonna miss him and my little cats. So on day 1, I'm trying to sort of set my intentions. What is my goal for this residency? And I think, obviously I'm interested in making a lot of work. I'm interested in digging harder into my own ideas. Specifically, I'm focusing on my shape languages. So I really want to further develop and understand and be able to talk about those. But also I'm really interested in just building authentic connections with people, learning more about different types of artists and what they're doing. And I hope to connect more deeply with the performance scene. I hope to maybe take a dance class at the Merce Cunningham Foundation and maybe get to visit the John Cage archive. So yeah, I'm trying to have a loose foundation, but also stay open. I worry, on one hand, if you don't have a plan, you won't get anything done. But on the other hand, if you have too much structure, then you won't be open to unexpected things happening. So I want to kind of do something in the middle. I'm trying to figure out how to document it. So I'm just starting with video, and I may also do a lot of other things. Honestly, I've applied for and dreamed of doing a residency at this level for maybe a decade. So it's a little intimidating. Okay, so I had my second sort of residency experience. I gave a presentation over Zoom about my work to a room full of people connected to the residency. And I think it was kind of intense because it's always kind of stressful to figure out what is the story of your work. In my case, I've been working as an artist for a decade or more, professionally. So, you can't talk about everything. You have to be kind of selective. What am I gonna say? So I ended up instead of going in chronological order, I broke my work into chapters, 5 chapters that I felt were a really, really important moments that are leading me into what I'm working on this summer. And then I picked examples to support that. And then I wrote a script for it because it had to be exactly 15 minutes. And I rehearsed it 3 times, I think, just so that I felt really confident. But still, those nerves are always there when you're going to speak in front of a bunch of people. But I appreciate them, asking me to do this to get some clarity in my work before I get started working on stuff this summer. It was nice to kind of just reflect on things before I jump in. So now it's a race to get packed up and get everything done that I've got to do, which is like a million things, and rent a truck and drive to New York. And I'm actually leaving in 48 hours. And tomorrow's my husband's birthday, so I'm going to pause and celebrate a little bit. But it's feeling crazy. All good stuff, but feeling crazy. I'm supposed to be in New York Monday, like meeting these people in person, which hopefully is amazing. So, it's been a crazy week. Getting all packed up and trying to sort of settle my affairs before driving to New York. So, Clint and I have the truck packed. We just figured it was easier to, I didn't want to spend my whole living stipend on supplies. So I'm just bringing everything I need because I rarely have this kind of a opportunity to just make a bunch of work and get feedback. So I want to make a bunch of stuff, and the person I'm staying with has a family and a small child, and so they needed to bring a lot of stuff, so it was just easier. I was kind of like, if I'm gonna bring a truck, I might as well just bring what I need. So but yeah, if I look tired, I am tired. But it's like a good tired, like you're working towards something. So next step is we're gonna strap all this down. I'm gonna go pick up my mom, and we're gonna try to get to New York, and we're gonna do hopefully about 5 hours today and 5 hours tomorrow. That's my hope, so that we're not hauling stuff upstairs like super late at night, because I'm gonna have to carry all this stuff up to the 3rd floor. Say that again. We're going into the tunnel. Whoa, oh my gosh. So we're under the water?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I know.
And a little bit terrifying.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go.
Coming out.
Woo!
34th, that's where I lived.
Aw.
Oh my gosh.
The Brooklyn Bridge.
I'll take a picture.
Yeah, I'm taking a video. This is crazy. So, my mom and I made it. It was a worthy adventure, just shenanigans with me and my mom. It was kind of a fun way to spend Mother's Day. We'd never driven through the Lincoln Tunnel, and we'd never driven over the Brooklyn Bridge, so kind of fun stuff. And now I've been hauling a million things up 3 flights of stairs. But the apartment's super cute, so yeah. But I have a meeting tomorrow for the residency, and then I need to unload a bunch of stuff in the studio. So, getting the foundation built. So, technically this is my first day. So we got to New York last night, probably like dinner time. Took forever to carry up a million things. And then we passed out, and I have a meeting today at 10. And then I'm loading stuff at the studio, and then from the truck. And then hopefully we're taking this truck back to Staten Island and getting rid of the truck. So first day. So today was good, but busy. We probably my mom and I left my house around this apartment around like 8 or 8:30. And I had a meeting at RU at the Residency. I had a meeting at the Residency. And it was very energetic and optimistic, and we talked about all the places I might be able to go. The thing I freaked out the most about was the Fluxus archive at the MoMA. Like, I almost fell over. Just the idea of it, of being able to, you know, see some stuff and research some stuff. I love libraries and learning stuff. And so that meeting was really fun, and felt like it's going to be an exciting summer, lots of possibilities. And they were very supportive and kind. And then my brain is like, it's just been a long but good day. And then we went to the studio that I'm going to have, and it was both spaces that my roommate and I have are bigger than I was expecting. So that's cool. So again, it felt exciting. It felt like a lot of cool stuff's gonna be made, and it seemed like a really fun space. And then my mom and I had to take the, we got like a moving truck, the smallest one, and drove it up here with my roommate's stuff and my stuff. So we had to take it back and had to go to Staten Island. My mom and I had never been to Staten Island, and we had no idea how we were gonna get back. And it was really weird. There was like a lot of hills. It was very fancy. Not what I would picture for New York. But then we took a bus, and then we took the Staten Island ferry back to the city, and it was awesome. I mean, awesome. Like the wind and the sights. We sat on the side where you can see the Statue of Liberty. It was so cool.
We're about to
kind of just this unexpected fun adventure. And then my mom and I were trying to map back to where I'm staying, the apartment where I'm staying in Brooklyn. And my phone died, and I don't know, somehow my mom mapped it to my street, but in Maryland. And we were like walking forever, and I was like, how many blocks is it? And it's because we were walking to Maryland. And we like laughed so hard. It was really funny. But yeah, it's been really nice to have my mom here, because it was just like a lot to do, and to have that support and help was just like really nice. And someone to talk to, and just someone from home before I like jump into all these amazing things. So she leaves Wednesday, and that'll be bittersweet. You know, it'll be sad to see her go. But I've got a lot of stuff to make and do, so hopefully I'll be distracted from missing people at home. So yeah, I can literally barely keep my eyes open because it was such a crazy but good day.
Hello. Okay, so this is Friday of week 2 for me of this residency. So I got it to New York on Monday, and then my mom drove a truck up with me, which was really fun. And I actually ended up missing her a lot when she left. It was just, we had like a lot of fun on our adventure, and we had fun hanging out in New York City, and she's a beast driving in New York City. She was like driving this U-Haul truck, or excuse me, it was like a Penske truck. Like it was easy peasy in like this really busy city. So we did fun things, like we took the Staten Island ferry, which I had never done before, and it was super fun. And then, and it was free. And then we also went to Coney Island the next day, because it's very close to where I live. It's like 20 minutes away. You know, going to a beach in the middle of New York City is pretty fun. So she left Wednesday, and then I had a studio visit Wednesday, and that was fun. I met with an artist who is opening a bakery in the Bronx for artists. So they would like get together and bake together. And it sounds like if it's possible, they may try to make the bread into some kind of shapes. He was saying that it's kind of hard with sourdough bread, but I love this idea, because eating is like about community and bringing people together. So I love this idea of being like an artist bakery. But so my studio, I got here Monday. My mom and I unloaded all the stuff up many flights of stairs. My body is exhausted. And so I had this meeting on Wednesday in my studio, but I just dropped off all this stuff. So we got there pretty early on Wednesday, and I like quickly got my studio together. So I'm ready to hopefully jump in tomorrow maybe and start making some stuff. And then, so my mom gave me a cold as a parting gift. She had one when we were driving up here, and it kind of felt inevitable that I would get it. I was hoping I wouldn't, and she was really sweet. She went out of her way to track me down some like vitamin drinks, and she was really trying to make sure I was taken care of before I left, which was really thoughtful. So I took a COVID test. It wasn't COVID. It's just a run-of-the-mill cold. But so I was feeling kind of bleh yesterday. It's funny, I haven't actually had a cold in a really long time because of masking. So I was kind of like, I'd forgotten about him. So thankfully I had 2 Zoom meetings, one for my school back home on processing trauma, and an artist talk by an artist. His name is escaping me right now, but he is from Cuba, and he sort of makes these dystopian fictional, I mean, they're landscapes that are real, but the architecture is not real, but it looks real. And so you're sort of like dreaming these otherworldly, I don't know, you're being curious about these structures, not knowing if they're real or not, and kind of engaging with that. It's interesting. And I decided this week that one of the ways I want to document this residency is I want to ask interesting questions with everyone that I meet with or things that I go on. And I think I've done a good job so far. I think I'm going to put together a Google Doc of all the questions that I ask. And if anybody wants to throw in interesting questions, they can. Because as a teacher, I always get so frustrated. Not frustrated, but it's always kind of a bummer when nobody asks any questions because you want them to be engaged with the content. So I've been trying to challenge myself to come up with an interesting question for every single thing I go to. So then I was feeling pretty awful after those 2 Zoom meetings. So I took a nap, and then I got a second wind, and I walked to a Target that was pretty close, and bubble tea. I love bubble tea, but they were out of bubbles. So I got jelly. But I was relieved to find that Target because it's really close. And, you know, if you can get just about anything you need at a Target. And I went there for gluten-free noodles, and thankfully they had some. But so I was telling my husband, it was interesting that I felt like I was making very different choices than I would at the grocery store in Cincinnati. Like, for example, in Cincinnati, I have a pretty hardcore sparkling water addiction that my husband helps facilitate because he's always buying lots of cases of sparkling water, and I'm always drinking it. But here I had to walk 8 blocks. So I did get like they were mini cans of Coke Zero. Because I thought I could carry mini cans, but I didn't want to carry like a whole 12-pack 8 blocks, especially because I was feeling kind of gross yesterday. So I found myself like making choices based on, you know, what I want to carry. And earlier in the week I had ordered groceries just because I hadn't found a grocery store yet. So I guess I could but even if I order stuff, I live 3 floors up, and I learned the hard way from carrying a million things up that it's a hardy walk. So I just think that's interesting, like how I shop very differently for food in Cincinnati than I do here. So then today, I had a field trip to, I'll drop the name on the screen because I am not going to remember it, but it was like it was a place where you could make paper and work with famous paper artists, but you could also, they have like a gallery and an archive and a residency and a fellowship. And I just want to go to everything while I'm here. I want to like learn new things, even though my work isn't necessarily paper-based, but it was fascinating. I had no idea paper could get so sculptural and dimensional and layered and colored. It was crazy. And I found myself rethinking some things about the textile class this fall. I might come at it in a different way because of this tour, which was exciting for me because I've had this recent discovery that exchanging information is really important to me as an artist, and that's something I do as a teacher. So it's something I do in my work, but it's also something I do as a teacher. And I love this idea that like me going to this paper tour is going to make me a better teacher. So that was really fun. But on my way there, you know, so what I wear is a way that I sketch ideas, but it's also, and it's a way to kind of keep some of my performances alive, because most of my prints are about performances I've done. And so when people ask me about them, it keeps them on my mind, it keeps me talking about them. But also what I wear is kind of an invitation. Like anybody can come up and ask me about what I'm wearing. So I'm sitting on the train and this guy comes up to me, sits next to me, and he's like, you know, telling me he loves all my colors and it reminds him of like the paint splatters in his studio. So I was like, oh, you're an artist, you know, so we got to talking, and it seemed like he was very talented in a lot of different directions, like music and athletic and like I think he said martial arts and art, painting, and maybe even he said writing. I'm not sure, but so I gave him a business card because I really I'm here to like make connections with creative people. So and then he goes, man, I wish I had some art with me. And he goes, I don't have any art with me, but I have my flute. And I was like, oh, and I didn't know if he was going to show me his flute, but he actually like got it out and started playing and gave me a little flute concert on the train. And I was like, what? Like, it was beautiful. And then once he got done with that, he actually did a little bit of like sort of riffing some rap music in the moment to show me some of his rapping skills. So I just loved like being gifted with this spontaneous performing on the train. It was such a great way to lead into that field trip on paper, which blew my mind. And then so this is my first full week away, and I'm super close with my husband and our cats. I'm such a ridiculous cat person. And so I'd been missing my cat. So after the paper thing, I went to Brooklyn's Cat Cafe and just spent 45 minutes petting all the cats. And it was really cute and fun. And then I walked around looking for some bookstores. I was trying to find a magazine. I never found it, but I had fun looking for bookstores. And then I took a different route home than I have so far. And I found out at the end of our street is like a gourmet pastry shop that has gelato. So yeah, I started to feel like a little bit more confident today about navigating the city and feeling super inspired about the stuff I saw. So yeah, it's been crazy, but in like the best way. And I'm hoping to get some studio time this weekend, and I may go into downtown New York. We'll see.